Yo dudes! Welcome to delicious harvest autumn soup! Okay, soup season is upon us. Pumpkins are synonymous with October. There are many different varieties and they make phenomenal soup. Many people are wondering what to do with their pumpkins when they're left over. Make this pumpkin soup. It's incredible.
So we've got a 5-litre pot. I'm going to pop it on a high heat and add in 1 tablespoon of oil.
So we've 1 red onion, which we have diced pretty roughly.
Does it need to be a red onion, Stephen, or could I use just a white onion?
Yeah, you could if you didn't
Or a
have
brown onion.
Yeah, exactly. That would do perfect.
Okay, I'm going in with our red onions. Ready for the sizzle? You ready, ready, ready?
Oh,
love
like
it.
that. Take our piece of ginger and roughly chop it. We're going to blend this soup so our cuts don't have to be too thin. Okay, in goes our ginger, roughly chopped, because as we said, we're going to blend this, so don't be too fussy about it. And I've 3 cloves of garlic.
By chopping them, you are going to release more of the flavours. You will get more of the juices, and you will get a bit more of the concentration of the flavours. So roughly chop them.
Add in garlic last, because when it does burn, it goes bitter. We don't want that.
And very important thing here is that to season as you go. So we're going to pop in a nice sprinkle of salt.
Base flavors of any soup, typically, like traditional, if you look at the mirepoix, it was onion, carrot, and celery. And here we are going to go with onion, carrot, and we're going to use pumpkin as the base, really. So roughly chop our carrot. So we're gonna move from frying to sweating our veg. So in goes the carrots. That was about 3 to 4 carrots, roughly chopped.
So that's about approximately 200 grams. And once again, as we said, we're going to season as we go. We're going to go with a small little pinch of salt to help break down the cell walls of the carrots.
We're going with approximately 1 kilo of pumpkins. This is known as a red turban or a potimarron. Pumpkin. Use whatever type you want, approximately 1 kilo. And we are going to eat the flesh. So take the top off.
Eat the flesh, it sounds
eat the
barbaric.
So always take the bottom off so it sits nice and fine. Take your knife that way. This bit you got to be specific. So insert your knife that way, all the way through. Hand on this and bring it down. Just this is the way to do it where you're not going to cut yourself because pumpkins are quite dense. And like that, we're going to take the skin out and then roughly chop it. Or take the seeds out.
So one thing to note is that you can't eat the skin on all pumpkins. Some of the skin is quite bitter. The types that we're using here today are very much, the skins are beautiful. So as we said, this is a potimarron, and we've also got a kabocha squash is the green one.
Oh, we're getting some nice, oh, look at that. We're getting a bit of caramelization, a little bit of char on the surface. Fabulous, indicating flavor development. Okay, in goes all our pumpkin, and as Dave said, season as we go. Nice pinch of salt. We're gonna mix that through, and we're gonna move from frying into sweating.
Steaming or sweating.
So we're going to put in a little, about 2 to 3 tablespoons of water, just a little bit. And we're going to pop the lid on the top.
Yeah.
And we're just going to leave it. And what's going to happen
Heat's gone down to medium heat now.
So heat transfers 20 times quicker or more using water. So what's going to happen is suddenly that water is going to start to circulate throughout our veg and just start to cook them all the way through and cook a lot quicker. And it's called sweating. The flavors and the juice of the salt will come out and they'll start to marry together beautifully. So we let this sweat for about 5-10 minutes, and what's gonna happen is it's gonna stick to the bottom a bit, but that caramelization is gonna be, look at the steam. So look, when I do move this, oh, look at that. So the pumpkins are pretty soft. They're borderline cooked at this stage.
Okay, so now it's time to just re-add in our sauce. We're gonna make this even creamier and richer, so we're gonna put 1 can of coconut milk. Obviously, you don't need to add this if you do want it to be lower in fat. And if you did want it to be lower in fat, you could use low-fat coconut milk.
But this is gonna add a creamy sweetness that complements the pumpkin so beautifully. I've got 1 red chili. Obviously, if you like it less spicy or you're making for children, leave it out. I'm gonna go with half a red chili.
And we're going in with 2 litres of water. You could use veg stock if you want, but we are going to add in a little bit of tamari, and with the coconut milk, it's not necessary. There's no need to add veg stock. I do find tamari is great.
And if I didn't have tamari, could I use soy sauce, Dave?
You could, but if you are a fan of this channel, you will know we are big believers in the T-Dog.
And we do have the T-Dog, and we do have aspirations of swimming in a barrel of tamari one day.
So as we've said many times, if you know someone or if you do own a tamari factory and you do allow people to swim in the barrels, we
will wash ourselves.
We will
clean
new bathing suits, goggles and hats.
Oh, what a dream. That'll be a big day.
Okay, so 2 tablespoons of tamari.
And we promised we'll shoot a video to promote your tamari factory.
Yes, there you go.
I'm going to go with a nice
very
pinch of black pepper.
Very likely we'll be swimming in a tamari factory. So we're just going to bring this to the boil for about 10 minutes. Okay, so we boiled this for 10 minutes. You can see it bubbling away, steaming away.
Our soup, the pumpkin, all you're looking for is that the pumpkin is soft and it's ready to be blended. We're going to use an immersion blender. You could do this in a normal blender or a food processor.
Okay, what's most important now once you've blended it is to taste and season.
Okay, I always think there are the 3 key secrets in terms of soup. Number 1, color. You want a strong, dominant color. Pumpkin soup should be bright, vibrant, yellowy orange. Number
Texture.
2, texture. You don't want it too thick, you don't want it too thin. So make sure you have that silky, smooth, velvety soup. If you're deeper into winter, you typically want it thicker. If you're more into the autumn side of summer, you want it lighter.
I'm going to put another pinch of
Seasoning,
salt.
most important thing. 5 base flavors: salt, sweet, bitter, acidic, and umami. And when you taste it here, you're really, number 1, trying to find if there's enough salt. Number 2, the sweet is going to come from the coconut. Number 3, the acid
pumpkin
will help cut through the kind of starch and the kind of sweetness. Finally, umami, we want a bit of tamari. And bitter, there's no bitter in this soup.
Lovely. It's creamy, it's sweet, it's silky, it's velvety, heartwarming. Like, I feel like I'm sitting beside the fire on a cold winter evening
So when you season it, just take your time. Like, what you're trying to do is take an under-seasoned or kind of relatively bland soup, and you're trying to bring it into where it tastes good. So start with salt, move into acid, sweet, bitter, and umami. There's no real bitter in this.
And what we'll often say is there's no amount of fancy cooking technique will make up for an under-seasoned dish, and that means an under-salted dish. So always start with salt.
Don't be afraid to use a little bit of the magic black sauce.
That's T-Dog.
T-Dog, yeah.
That's tamari.
Tamari, beautiful
Big T.
T-Dog. So what
Mr. T.
tamari brings, it brings, like, we've done this soup in 30 minutes, which is a little bit kind of unconventional. Often soup you take longer and longer, but with a bit of use, or a little bit of magic from the T-Dog, it helps you speed up.
Sublime.
That's a gorgeous soup.
That's very tasty. I'm going to enjoy this for lunch.
So we're going to serve this with a little bit of sourdough bread, a little drizzle of coconut cream, and voila.
And if you are looking for more help with cooking more meals on a weekly basis, our Whole Health Tribe, for the next number of weeks, we'll be doing a weekly live meal prepping
What does
cook
Whole
along.
Health Tribe mean? Is
It's
that in person?
Whole Health. No, it's digital. It's our online community. But we're starting for the next number of weeks doing a weekly live cook along. So on a Monday, we will be spending an hour. You'll get the ingredients on a Friday. You'll buy them over the weekend. And on a Monday at 7 p.m, we will all cook along. And we will cook meals for most of the week
And are they
in
easy
1
to cook?
hour.
Are they easy to
They're
cook?
quick, easy meals, because what we realized over all these years, that ultimately comes down to cooking the food, prepping the food, and then it's so much easier to eat
So the
it.
goal of it is to support you to cook healthy food so you eat healthy food.
Together, yes. It's pretty much
Brilliant.
like we will be your coaches together on a Monday night at 7 p.m. We were all
And it's
cook
live,
meals
so
for
I
you.
could ask questions when you're
Yeah,
cooking.
yeah.
Brilliant.
And they're
That's
quick, easy dinners.
How
My
do I-
hope is that
How do I learn more?
We'll put a link down below. It's as part of our Whole Health Tribe. Yeah.
Brilliant. Okay, great. Jeez, that soup's great. Okay, right, how we're going to
Yum.
serve it. Okay, little things just to take your good soup into, your great soup into an exceptionally great soup. Take a little bit of coconut milk, and we're just going to drizzle it around just to get a little bit of a nice fleck of colour.
And finally, if you like it, I'm going to go with some peanut ryu on top. And peanut ryu is just, it's going to sink, is it?
Oh, but you're getting those lovely red flecks. Oh, this is like just an absolute pop of flavour through it.
And there we have it, folks. Delicious pumpkin soup, autumn harvest pumpkin soup. We're going to serve it with some of our own homemade delicious sourdough bread. And here we go, folks. Dedicated to you. Thank you so much for being part of our community, for watching this video. We really, really appreciate it. Our mission has always been about helping people to eat more veg. That is you. The world needs each of us to eat more veg and less of the other stuff. So thank you. A tribute to you.
For this recipe, could I use like some pumpkins from Halloween?
Yeah, you
It's a
could,
great
yeah.
way of using leftover pumpkins.
Yeah, it is.
Thank you for watching. Sending loads of love. Bye.
Bye, 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 bye. Bye, see ya.